Hey, what is up, guys? This is Rampage here, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Here we got a standard battle. Yeah, as you can see, this one's actually not a UU battle, but I actually did kind of want to go back to my standard team a little bit, so that's why I'm having this battle. Anyway, here's a battle against some guy called Truevillany that I found off of Smogon. He's using a Sandstorm team because it's a Tyranitar and a Excadrill there, so therefore Sandstorm. So anyway, he's going to lead off with a Salamence, and I'm going to lead off with my Munkfunk. I'm just going to go for the U-turn, and he switches out into a Tyranitar, which is kind of good for me because I am able to get about a third of the damage off on the Tyranitar. So now I'm going to switch out to my Crawdaunt because I'm thinking Crawdaunt will force him to switch out because I'm thinking that he's slow and he doesn't want to take a Waterfall from Crawdaunt. So I'm actually going to take his opportunity to set up a Dragon Dance as he switches out into a Skarm. I'm thinking he's just going to set up the spikes and not go for the Whirlwind, so I'm going to go for the Waterfall. He does indeed set up the spikes, which is great, and that's pretty good, but it's not really too good because Crawdaunt's taking some pretty good damage from Sandstorm and Life Orb. Luckily for me, he decides to stay in, fathers his Skarmory. I go for the Waterfall, 2-hit KO, which is good. Now he's going to bring out his Ape. Now I'm going to go out to my Gligar because I'm thinking Choice Banded Ape because that's what most of them are. But he's actually going to go for the Fake Out, which also works in my favor because I'm able to take that like a beast. And yeah, that's that good stuff. So anyway, I am going to predict his switch, and I'm going to go for the Toxic, which is a good play on my part because I knew that he wouldn't want to take an Earthquake with his Infernape. So anyway, now I'm going to go out into my Crawdaunt as Deathfather because I didn't see a Reuniclus on this team, so I had no reason to keep this Crawdaunt. And yeah, all that good stuff. And his Mence just took a buttload of damage, and I didn't even attack it yet, so it was a good play for me to go for the Toxic. So anyway, I'm going to bring out my Latios, try to revenge kill his Mence with the Dragon Pulse, but he's going to switch out into his T-Tar. And right here, I'm fearing two things. I'm fearing the Pursuit, and I'm fearing the Crunch, so I'm going to switch out. Luckily, he didn't go for Pursuit. I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn. He's going to go for the T-Wave, which is kind of unusual, but it kind of works out in my favor because I do have the Gyro Ball. So the Gyro Ball will be faster due to Paralysis, but he's just going to switch out. As I'm going to set up my Rocks because Rocks are the most important thing in the game. So, yeah. And now I'm going to switch back out into Gligar because, again, Gligar can take all hits from an Infernape, and his Infernape's actually going to be the one to set up the Rocks. This whole match I've been thinking that, well, not the whole match, but the first part of the match I've been thinking that his Tyranitar would set up the Rocks, but it's not his Tyranitar. So I'm going to KO his Infernape with an EQ, and now he's going to come out into his Excadrill. I see the balloon, so I know an Earthquake won't be able to KO this thing. So what I have to do is basically hit this thing and then go back out into Gligar to so I can hit it with the Earthquake and KO it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to go out into my Ferrothorn, go for the Gyro Ball. Yeah, go for the Gyro Ball, but I get Parahex, which is kind of gay, and he's going to bring in his Mence, go for the Fire Blast. I'm just going to stay in this spot because I didn't really want anything else to take a Fire Blast. I would have went out into my Milotic, but I didn't know what type of Mence this was, so I didn't want to risk my Milotic getting hit with the Outrage right afterwards. So now I'm going to bring out my Infernape because I know a Mach Punch will be able to KO this thing. But I actually go for the Close Combat as he switches into his Vaporeon, which is pretty good because that's definitely a 2-hit KO from a Banded Ape. So that's cool because Vaporeon could have been a big problem because now that Ferrothorn is gone, like my #1 wall for Vaporeon is gone, it could have just caused some major problems. So he's going to just stall me, I guess. Try to stall me out of close combats and get as much Sandstorm damage on me as possible, which is pretty good on his part because that will kind of hurt me later on, seeing as I won't be able to recover the Sandstorm damage off. So anyway, a close combat will be able to KO the Vaporeon, which is great. And now he's going to bring out this guy, his Excadrill, that's what it's called. And I'm just going to go into my Milotic. I don't know why I went out into Milotic when I could have easily went out to Gligar to take that. But anyway, I'm going to go out into Milotic, take the Rock Slide like a champ. And he's going to switch out now, probably because he doesn't think the Earthquake would be able to KO me. I'm just going to go for the Scald on the switch as he goes into his T-Tar, which it doesn't really bother me too much because as soon as well, if he decides to KO my Milotic with his T-Tar, I'm just going to go out to Ape and go for the Mach Punch, because that will basically KO everything else on his team. But he's actually going to go for the Thunder Wave, which I really don't care too much about that because I'm Marble Scale and all, and I do get the burn from the Scald, which is good. But right here, he's going to go for the Rest. So right here, I really didn't know what to think this T-Tar was, what kind of T-Tar this was, because usually Rest, I've seen a Rest Curse Sleep Talk before, but this one had Thunder Wave, so I know it's not that. And yeah, I'm just really confused. So anyway, I'm going to switch out into my Gligar because I wanted to go for the Earthquake, I guess. Maybe, possibly, who knows? I think, maybe. So anyway, he's going to switch out into his Excadrill. Why do I keep forgetting this thing's name? Damn. So anyway, he's going to switch out into his Excadrill, and as I'm going to go for the Roost. Now I'm going to just switch back out into my Milotic as Death Water because my Milotic's not really helping me anymore. I just needed to fodder out my Milotic so I can get a fresh switch into my Infernape so I can go for the Mach Punch. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. He's going to finish off my Milotic with a EQ. I'm going to go out to Ape, go for the Bandit Mach Punch. I'm hoping that's going to be enough to KO, but his Excadrill barely lives. But it doesn't really matter too much because the balloon does pop, and I will be able to KO his Excadrill with Gligar. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right here. He's going to go for the Rock Slide. That's not going to do anything to me, basically. Going to go for the Earthquake. That is going to finish it off. And now he's going to bring out his Mets, which I'm not worried about at all. I'm just going to switch out into my Latios' Death Water, just because I know that after the Sandstorm and Life Orb and Toxic that he will die this turn. So I'm just basically stalling this Mets out for one more turn until it dies. He does go for the Draco Meteor. That does KO my Latios, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter because our last two Pokemon are Gligar and Tyranitar, and I do have the Stab Earthquake, which is super effective against Tyranitar, so right here it is looking pretty good for me. But I'm just going to be safe and go for the Roost first of all, because I want to have as most HP as possible before I start attacking. So now I'm going to go for the Earthquake. It looks to be about a 3-hit KO, which, isn't too bad. But right here I'm going to go for the Roost just to see if he has the Ice Beam, because if he does have Ice Beam and goes for it, then it wouldn't do too much because I roosted. But he has the Fire Blast. He misses, unfortunately, which sucks for him, but it didn't really matter too much unless he got the burn, but he didn't. So anyway, I'm going to go for the Earthquake again. One more will KO it. He does miss another Fire Blast, which sucks for him, but this Earthquake will KO him. So that's a good game, Truevillany. Hope to battle you again sometime. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Make sure to leave a comment, leave a like rating if you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the near future. Peace out.